your host this evening, speaking to you from my home office here in Toronto, Canada. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of our team members from around the world and a special welcome to all of our guests listening to this call. This is a leadership call that we do each and every Monday here at ZJ International to further help develop our leadership core of people who are looking to achieve higher levels of prosperity within our business, that being a six-figure type annual income, for some now in Asia, multiples of that, and for a few, seven figures annually. If you're on this line as a guest, as I said, a welcome to you. You may have questions about the company or about the product. We have specific calls for that. On Wednesday, we do a product-centered call with our formulator. You're certainly welcome to join us for that. The person who invited you this evening will be sure to answer all of your questions and guide you to the appropriate information. This call will give you a bit of a bird's eye view of what is happening not only in ZJ International, but also what is required to reach high levels of success in our industry. As we all know, building a home-based business based on person-to-person marketing, creating leverage, creating residual income as a result, locally, nationally, or internationally, ultimately is going to require some skills that we'll need to learn and that we'll need to teach others. And we generally focus on those skills on this particular call. Tonight, I think it appropriate, given that we are moving into a new year and we're down to the final weeks of 2013, what I'd like to do tonight is kind of give everybody a bit of a picture of where we've come from as a company, as a team, as an organization, where we are today, and more importantly, where we're going tomorrow, what 2014 will look like, 2015, and beyond. I've been with ZJ International myself since October of 2007. Looking at it from today's perspective, it's hard to believe how far we've come as a team. In those days, a few years ago, this company was roughly a $300,000, maybe $400,000 a month company, which in terms of a business opportunity, a place for us to create a secondary or primary income, would be considered virtual non-existence. That's a company that's not happening. And then in 2008, things didn't change a whole lot. And in 2009, things were still difficult. And it was in the fall of 2009, September, October, that some adjustments were made, not only to our marketing, but the addition of our weight management system. And ZJ got traction. This company got traction, and of course today, everybody knows we're amongst the fastest growing company in the world. We're on the move. There's a lot of people experiencing extraordinary prosperity, and all of that, of course, because of a product line that's changing people's lives. And so here we are going into 2014. We've gone from a $400,000 a month company to roughly $15 million a month right now, and continuing to grow. Roughly 50,000 people came on board this year thus far. So in the last 11 and a half months, this organization expanded by 50,000. And the trajectory that we're on is pointing to growth of roughly 100 to 150,000 people in 2014. That's 150,000 more people on automatic reorder, consuming our product and promoting in a number of countries. And so if you're a guest online tonight, what does this mean to you? How do you get yourself positioned in front of this coming growth? And if you're one of our team members online tonight, and there's a lot of people on this call tonight, how do you take your business to the next level? Well, the first thing, obviously, is to help help a new person experience prosperity. Now, that's the fastest way to advance your business, is help someone else have success. But also, one can also press the restart button and create a whole new level of momentum in their business. As many of you know, I just got home literally yesterday, along with Chris Estes and Russ Bianchi, our formulator, from a 25-plus city tour that's been going on since October, and it's good to be home. We haven't been home for a single weekend in the last 2 months. But the reason for that additional effort is that I know that Zija is right now in the sweet spot. We're in a spot where this company is positioned to go to an entirely new level. And so when a company has this kind of growth, when we're in a position to help a lot of people have success in a compressed period of time, that's the time to put in that additional effort. And so we hit a number of cities in a number of countries on a number of continents over these last couple of months, and it's really set us up for 2014. 2014, as I mentioned, will be the year where Zija will likely double in size. So what we've done in the first 6 years, we can expect to have double in roughly 12 to 18 months. And obviously that's going to create a great deal of success for a lot of people. So what I want to talk about tonight, in the context of that, is what it actually takes, not just from a mechanical standpoint, from what do I need to do, because we have training on that. We have systems to assist people in building and advancing their business. But I want to talk about a prosperity mindset. I want to talk about how a person who is going to create a six-figure income thinks, because there's a distinct difference between those that are in the 1%, those that lead the way for the masses, those that create an environment for others to grow, those that create a 10, 20, 30, 40, a 50, or $100,000 a month type of income, obviously are doing something very, very different than the masses. And one of the things that is different is they've learned how to focus their mind and their vision on things that create prosperity. Okay, they've developed what we call a prosperity mindset. They've been able to clarify their personal vision and bring it into absolute high definition, such that they can see a clear path as to what they need to do in order to achieve and manifest that vision. And that is what I want to focus on for the next 15 or 20 minutes on. What does that look like? What does that mean? We call it personal development, right? Personal development. Developing ourselves, taking our attitude, our posture, our vision, our mindset, our self-image, our self-worth to an entirely different level. I can speak from personal experience that, when I started in this industry some 24 years ago, back in December of 1989, it's kind of my 24th birthday in the industry now, this December. I came in as a locksmith glazer, and basically as a person that had a skill set in a particular trade. I was not necessarily trained on a prosperity mindset or abundance thinking. I had no training in that area at all. But I did hang around some people who were already very, very successful in terms of wealth accumulation and in terms of building the type of life that you and I both want. I think everybody wants finer things in life. They had already achieved it. And they put me on a path of personal growth that has led to the ability now to attract success. there's a lot of people on this call tonight, many people that I heard during the pre-call, who have done just that. They are attracting success in their lives, in their business, and in the lives of people that they touch. One of them who's on the line tonight, who was with me in the early days of ZJ International, and he's just one example. Okay, he's just one example of many, probably well over 100 in ZJ International, who's achieved really extraordinary success. And this is not the first time. This is the third time in his career, and that is a triple diamond, Fred Holmes. And Fred, you know, you had made your first million in network marketing when I was just getting started, because I knew of you in a company that you were having success in. Basically, in my first year in the industry, I had just got started in the industry, and you had just come into the industry. You were already on your way to making, I don't know, maybe your second million. Maybe you can give us a snapshot, Fred, of in 2 minutes what's happened for you in ZJ International as a result of, I guess, the environment that you're in, personal development, the type of income that you've managed to achieve where you came from.
Well, thank you, David. ZJ International has been an extraordinary part of my story, if you will. My first rodeo, I had a great learning ground foundation with the first company, which, helped me be in a position to take advantage of the second company. And one of the things that struck me at the beginning of the call, you were talking about where ZJ is poised today, which is right where that second company was in terms of their growth curve. And by being able to simply duplicate some of the things successful people did and having the advantage of being with a company that was destined to, in a very short period of time, double and triple its sales, that really propelled, the rest of my financial life. ZJ has given me the opportunity to go well beyond that. You talk about that prosperity mindset, and I have to tell you, when I started in this industry, David, I didn't really have as what we know today to be that mindset. I was a blue-collar guy, drove a truck for a living. What occurred to me was that, if other people could do this, then why couldn't I? It wasn't like there was a question at work. I saw people making money. I didn't see them to be a whole lot different than me. So why not me? And that is kind of the beginning of the prosperity mindset, is to free yourself from your limitations. What's happened with ZJ International is gone well beyond what I used to consider to be prosperity. To have a residual income, to have a modest lifestyle. With ZJ, it's gone, it's truly beyond, a good living. It's an extraordinary level of prosperity. And then being able to do things with the money. As you know, we've talked a lot about investments. I've been able to acquire a number of investment real estate properties, investing back into my business, back into the people I love. I've helped my older boy get his first house, helped my daughter-in-law get her education. The exciting thing about this business, David, is that there really isn't a lot that we need. We think about, our own levels of goals and desires. Really isn't a lot. A place to live, nice cars, some time freedom. What becomes extraordinary when you have an opportunity like ZJ International is to be able to do all of those types of things and be able to bless many, many other people. And David, as we were talking over the weekend, the next, 3 to 5 years with ZJ, those are the gravy years. We've seen it with other companies. I experienced it myself with my second company, and I, for one, am not going to take 2014 and 15 for granted. I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm going back to work, David. But thanks for letting me be on the call, Dave. Back to you, bud.
All right, well, thank you. Tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, and I really, what I wanted to do was use this call to leverage tomorrow night's call, and then move to the product call on Wednesday. We are setting up now to, as we all know, go into the new year, to tomorrow night is the first Tuesday of a brand new pay period. Now, what does that mean? In Zija, and I'm speaking to the guests now, we go through a 4-week pay period. So there's 4 cycles. Each cycle is equal to a week, and at the end of those 4 cycles, a pay period is completed. Kind of not quite a month. It's 28 days, right? Because it's 4 weeks. 4 sevens, 28. We are at the beginning of a brand new pay period right now. This is cycle 1 in the pay period that's going to take us into the new year. And on the first Tuesday of each period, we do a global conference call with the company called the Zija Nation call. That call is going to take place tomorrow evening at 9:25 Eastern Standard Time. There's going to be, we're expecting somewhere between 3,000 to as much as 4,500 people on tomorrow night's conference call. I mean close to 4,000 plus people on a single global conference call. There'll be countries dialing in from multiple continents. Our founder, Ken Brailsford, will be on the line, the entire executive team, and of course all the leadership of Zija International with their teams and guests. Tomorrow evening, the company will be announcing a program that's going to drive us through the holiday season and into the first week of January. And this program is designed to help people get off to a rapid start. I mean a very, very fast start in the business, such that they can come out of the gates in the new year, in the first week of 2014, and immediately start to create profitability. I think one of the best things that we can do to help a new person get excited about our business and to start really catching a vision is to help that new person create a paycheck right out of the gates. Help them see what it looks like to do a little bit of work and have a commission check come from that, from a team that is starting to develop. So tomorrow night, the company will announce a couple of things that are going to put us into, I think, hyperdrive for the last week, 10 days, or 2 weeks of this year, taking us into the beginning of next year. And that's going to set us up for launching 2014 in full momentum. Me personally, I've set an entire track of activities, starting with this Saturday. This Saturday right here at my house, there'll be roughly, I'd say about 100 people that'll be here. About 50 distributors from a couple of provinces here in Canada, along with 50 plus top business leaders from a standpoint of guests. These are people that are not involved in Zija, but they are top business people. They're people that are already successful. They're not going to be joining Zija because they need to. They're going to be joining Zija because they want to. And so they'll be here on Saturday, and that's one of the things that I'm doing to set the pace and set the benchmark or set my sail and help others set their sail for 2014. So tomorrow night will be the launch point for all of this, and I encourage everybody that's on the line tonight to go into promotion mode tonight and tomorrow to build for that call. If you do, I can tell you this, I can promise you this. I can tell you that a little bit of activity tonight and or tomorrow can open doors for you that you could not even imagine. You can't envision what can happen from just a little bit of activity, from taking that one step, from just taking action. Action supersedes everything. Absolutely everything. You take a little bit of action and you have no idea of where that action is going to lead to. I'll give you an example of that. I just got back, as I mentioned earlier in the call, from a 25-city tour. I've been to places that I've never been. I've met people in this last 2 months that I've never met. Now, they maybe have heard me on a conference call or read an article or watched a video on YouTube, or maybe they went to One Team Worldwide and watched some of the videos on my team site, but about 90% of them I had never met in person, maybe more. And everybody that I met in San Antonio, in Oslo, Sweden, in Oslo, Norway, in Sweden, and all the different countries, and all the different provinces in Canada, and all the different states from California to New York to the Carolinas to Atlanta to Alabama and so forth, are all part of a team, all part of my team, but they're there indirectly because I took a little bit of action up here in Canada a few years ago, because I spoke to a few people. And all of a sudden, these rooms are packed with hundreds, and in some cases 500, 600. I think our biggest meeting was upwards of 800 people. And the rooms are packed with people that I have no direct connection to, but indirectly I spoke to somebody. Your business will grow in exactly the same way. You'll take a little bit of action. You'll invite a couple of people to tomorrow night's call. They'll bring maybe a couple of people to the Wednesday call to hear about the product line. A couple of them might join, and they will open a few doors to their circles of influence, who will open a few doors to other people's circle of influence. And then a leader's going to show up in your business. And all of a sudden, you're going to have 500, 1,000, 5,000, or 10,000 people in your business. I know, Fred, your business is upwards of, I don't know the exact number, but it's somewhere upwards of 30,000 people in your business. And those are pretty well active people. And that's because you spoke to a few people who spoke to a few people, and were amongst the first 10 or 20 people that were part of my business a few years ago. Tomorrow night, a lot of people's future is going to be determined on tomorrow night's call. What I mean by that is, in 2014, there's going to be some stories. There's going to be some new people who will represent some of that $100 or $200 million in growth that this company will experience. They'll be at the convention in October next year, which I believe is going to be at the Mandalay Bay. But don't quote me on that, but I've heard some rumors. So it may be, and we'll let the company make that final announcement. And at that convention, some of these people who will have experienced the success are going to tell their story. They're going to share, what happened for them, how they got started. And here's what they're going to say. They're going to say, back in 2013, on a Monday night, a week before Christmas, I was on this conference call. And it was on that conference call that I chose to take a different direction going into the next year, going into 2014. And I got involved in ZJ International, and I started with a builder one or a builder two. I got on the product, and I shared the product with a few other people, invited them to a conference call or to a local event. And one thing led to another. My business got traction, and here I am today. And here I am today as a diamond or a black diamond or a diamond elite, with a complete life-changing income, personal security, financial security, everything that I would want for my kids and my grandkids, because I took action on that particular call. That is absolutely going to happen for a few people. And I would invite you to be one of those people tomorrow night. It's an important call. It's the last power hour or the last ZJ Nation call of 2013. Yes, as I mentioned, our founder will be on it. The executive team will be on it. All of the leadership of ZJ International will be on it, as well as many countries logging into that call. You want to be on that call at least a quarter after the hour, probably even 10 after to be on the safe side. By 20 after and 25 after, there will be so many people joining in on the call. You may find it difficult to get on the call to get an open line. The conference call company will probably be adding a number of other numbers to dial in from, as we will be loading up all of their bridges to maximum capacity, and it'll be a call that I think the entire DNA or energy of ZEJA worldwide in all countries, from all people, will come together, creating a really extraordinary energy. And as that energy, collectively, everybody focused on their personal vision, all of which are under the grand vision of the company, that is setting us up to be, in the next 3 to 5 years, $8 billion company. I don't say that lightly. Many of you have been to Utah. You've seen the infrastructure of the company. This is not a company that is built to be a small company. It's an infrastructure that is built for ZEJA to be a massive company. And with the company set up to be large, well, that means there's going to be a lot of people that have prosperity. Now, one of the best ways to invite people tomorrow night, okay, is make a short list. Make a short list of about 10, maybe a dozen people. You don't have to make a list of 50 or 100. Make a list of 10 people. But 10 people that you would want to have in your business if you could just touch them and they were in your business. Make that list. And give people a call maybe 2 hours before the call, 3 hours maximum. You could touch base with some people during the day, but in general, if you call people a few hours before the call, it is likely that out of 10 people, at least 3, 4, 5 of them are going to be available at 10 after 9 or quarter after 9. And all you're going to do is ask a friend. I'm going to say, Fred, it's Dave. Listen, what are you doing at quarter after 9? Do you have half an hour for me, 20 minutes? And Fred's going to say, absolutely. And I'm going to say, Fred, grab a pen. And he's going to grab a pen. He's going to write down the number that I give him. I'm going to invite him to dial into that number. I'm going to tell him, Fred, I'll get back with you right after this call. I want you to have a listen and tell me what you think. I'm thinking about getting serious about this in 2014. I'd like to get your opinion. It's something as simple as that. If you make a half a dozen to a dozen phone calls 3 hours before the call, with that simple invitation, asking someone to grab a pen, give them the phone number and the time, you're going to have 2 or 3 or 4 guests on tomorrow night's call. And that's how we're going to put 3,000 or 4,000 people on the call tomorrow night. And at the end of the call, it is very likely, based on the energy of tomorrow night's call and the vision for 2014, it is very likely you will have 1 or 2 or maybe even a half a dozen new distributors joining your business, setting yourself up to launch your business in 2014. And so let's make it a big call tomorrow night. Pull out all the stops. Text broadcast your organization. Send out an email. Post it on Facebook. And, of course, invite a few key prospects, people that you would love to share ZEJA International with, or people who have the business acumen to recognize a company that is about to enter momentum stage. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for all that you've done in 2013. Looking forward to your success in 2014. We'll catch you on the ZEJA Nation call tomorrow evening. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. The lines are open.
Thank you, David.